Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel for another live show this evening. And I have just realised I've got the camera on the wrong. Yeah, I've got it on the yeah, I need to just change. Hang on a minute, guys. That's better. We're gonna say I thought it was a bit wide, the camera. But yes, good evening to you all. Welcome back to Huddersfield Town Fan TV for another live show this evening. We're back. We haven't done a live show for a while, haven't we, actually? But yeah, back to react to the announcement of our manager. Our new manager, Lee Grant, has become our manager this evening. Look, we're going to go through all the details and everything. We'll just share our thoughts. Didn't see my video yesterday. I actually went into a lot of my thoughts about this guy and the thinking behind the appointment, to be honest with you. So if you didn't see that, yeah, I just kind of share my thoughts then. And also we're going to look at a few quotes that, yeah, obviously I watched the interview that he did as well, his first interview as our manager. So yeah, I'm going to get into a few quotes that he said as well. So yes, make sure you do drop a like, subscribe, and get your comments in throughout tonight's show as well, what you make of his appointment. But yes, let's say a few hellos. Let's see who's in the chat. Josh this evening, Ryan, hope you're well. Good evening, how are you? Good to see you. Had to be here seeing the news and what relationship has with my team. Yeah, and Michael's in this evening, Ryan, hope you're okay. Yes, hello to you, Michael, as well. Hello there. But look, let's just get straight into it then. So Lee Grant is our manager. He has signed a 3-year contract with us after obviously the agreed compensation from Ipswich. Obviously, we had to pay compensation to Ipswich. And he starts work with immediate effect. Obviously, like we've already alluded to, it is going to be his first managerial job. But obviously, he has been working full-time as a coach for 3 years at Ipswich, where obviously built that kind of reputation that he's kind of built for himself. And I think, my thoughts were clear yesterday on the video I did about, like I say, it's a huge gamble, someone with no experience for me. And yeah, I still feel the same way. I think that we had to go for somebody that, look, I know that we've been through that experience route, and experience doesn't mean that the manager is going to be successful. And we've seen this. We've seen both sides. We've seen the managers that have not been experienced, that have come here and not done so well. But we've also seen the experienced managers come in, like a Michael Duff, prime example, and it didn't work out for him. Now, we know why, the fundamentals of why that didn't work. For me, he wasn't backed. He wasn't given the tools to succeed. I understand that, but I still wasn't convinced about his football that he brought to the table as well, either. You can talk about him not being backed properly, recruitment being poor, and everything else, but the reality is I didn't really like the way he. Well, we weren't, and football's about entertainment. He wasn't bringing us any kind of joy out of watching the football that we've seen on the pitch. So, look, that is the way I see it. So, but I do think the fact that the club is in this position right now, where there is so much to do. I mean, the club is in free fall. You do want somebody that has been at least, a manager, a head coach, before. And obviously, we haven't gone down that. We've gone down this road, and like I said, the amount of things that we need to do. 18 players we've only got the club. No doubt. I mean, this is another thing as well. There's no director of football still. So who's made this decision about this manager? Because it just doesn't make any sense to me. Edwards clearly has had a big say in it, and the owner, presumably, it was a joint decision, but I don't know. But we've got no director of footballing. So, look, for me, I said it before and I'll say it again, it is a massive gamble, this appointment, and that is what it is. Now, I'm not going to sit here and slate the guy that's coming, because I do believe everybody deserves a chance, of course. And look, you can see the managers that we have had that have been inexperienced and they've done badly. And that's the problem. But it can go two ways, this. This gamble could pay off massively, or it could go terribly wrong. There'll be no in between. It'll be either absolutely brilliant, or it'll be, this is the worst. This is a horrible appointment. He's going to get sacked. We're going to sack. He's not going to last He's going to get sacked after a few months of being in the job. That is where I see it. That's how this is going to go, and time will tell. So look, I don't think this appointment necessarily gets people back into that stadium, fans, to be honest with you. That's just me being real with it, to be honest with you. It's not an exciting appointment, but again, I go back to it, guys. What do we expect? And I'm not downplaying how this has panned out with the people of by the way, with the amount of time it's taken. But the way this club is at the moment, where we are as a club, it's not an attractive job to take, because managers, head coaches have seen the chaos that has happened over the last few years, and they clearly don't buy into the project that they were told. And like I said, they don't want to tarnish their reputation by coming in and it going wrong because they haven't been given the tools to succeed from the people above. So, it won't get it won't get people back in the stadium. It won't get people to renew before the deadline on Friday. I think a lot of people have said, you know what, if it's taken this long to get a manager like this in, are you crazy? And that is how I understand that. But anyway, let's have a look at the comments. I've missed a few. What an appointment. Also, as a manager rather than the head coach. Come on. Yeah, obviously, yeah, I did notice that, yeah, he did obviously, as we actually described as the manager, yeah. Blue Tracer could be wrong, but it sounds like a joint decision between Edwards, Nagel, and DTS. The thing is, though, Blue Tracer, this is the massive thing I've got about it, right? Got nothing against DTS, Dave Fall Sykes, but he isn't in a position to choose our manager. I'm sorry. He isn't. You know what I mean? So I don't understand why he's had a say in it. And I don't understand why we still haven't got a sporting director in. Why didn't we make that appointment first and then get a manager in? That's what I don't understand at the moment. Are we not getting a sporting director? We haven't been told otherwise, so we have to presume that we are getting one, but there's still no one through the door right now. So I don't know. I don't have a clue. Ian says, hello mate, hope you're okay. Make sure you smash the likes, everyone subscribe if you're new. Okay, rant. Oh my goodness. Aiden's going to be on a mad one this evening with a rant. Yes, obviously I had my little bit of a, I don't know if it was a rant yesterday in my video that I did, but I did get into a lot of my thoughts about what I thought about the potential appointment of this guy. But yeah, let it all out, Aiden. That's all right with me. John's evening pal, surprised by this, does scream cheap option. However, look at what Davis did with us, so it could be a brilliant one. The key is he has to be backed with money. Yeah, evening to you, John. And yeah, look, John, you make some brilliant points here, to be fair. Look, obviously, it is obviously a cheaper option, correct? Although we have had to pay compensation to Ipswich. I don't know how much compensation we've had to pay, but I don't think it would be much. But I'm not sure about that. But look, you're right, though. Davis, another inexperienced coach that came into you guys and obviously got you promoted. So, but I do think the amount of money you spent, obviously we're not going to be spending as much as what you did. But yeah, he does need to be backed. Is he going to be supported and given the tools to succeed? That is the key, because you can have an experienced manager, you can have a manager that hasn't had much experience, but the bottom line is you need to give him the tools, you need to recruit properly, and you need to have a plan and strategy to how we're going to get back up to the championship in next season. That's the way I see it. If that's not the case, then any manager that comes in will fail. It's as simple as that, isn't it, really? Joseph says, I have worries for you guys with appointment, with him being only a coach, not a manager. Yeah, obviously, it's just one of those. It is a huge gamble, isn't it, like you say. Ace League ran, he has no experience in the manager role, another assistant, and not forgetting he used to be a goalkeeper, which I'm guessing he'll just play defensive football. Well, look, I mean, I don't think you can base what he's going to do based on where he played as a player, in my opinion, Aiden. But from what he was saying in his interview tonight, mind you can take what managers and head coaches say with a pinch of salt, this football club, because we've heard it all before, haven't we? We're going to play attacking football, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. You never come to fruition, so I don't know what to believe anymore, guys. But he didn't say that this evening. He didn't say that in the interview. That's obviously his first interview that I watched earlier that the club posted. But look, yeah, no experience. So yeah, it is a huge gamble. This club going backwards. It says, yeah, I mean, look, this has to pay off. This has to pay off because, like I said, I go back to it. This season, if we don't get it, this summer, if we don't get the recruitment right, if we don't back, obviously the money's going to be there because Nagel has given money to the likes of Duff and managers before. The money's been there, but are the choices of players that we get in going to suit the football club, and are they going to be players that actually will work, that have quality, and that are the right options for us? That is the big question mark at the moment, isn't it? So, yeah, look, I just don't know anymore. I don't know. Lee Grant is taking us to League Two. The thing is, though, mate, if he doesn't go right, it's either going to go really, really bad, which means Nagel's going to sack him by Christmas if it goes really, really bad. Because we know what Nagel's like. He will fire coaches left, right, and centre. He's done it time and time again. When the pressure's on, when the fans speak out about a manager before head coach, whatever you're going to call him, right? He is faltered. What he's done is he's given in and he's sacked them. And that is what I'm saying. Like, it just feels like he's very reactive, not proactive. That's what I'm saying. And look, I don't even think he'll last the season if it goes wrong. But it depends how long Nagel waits if it doesn't go wrong. But anyway, I don't want to speculate in going wrong right now, guys, because we have to give this guy a chance. But yeah, Nagel needs to tell the club now he's ruining the club. Yeah, I mean, look, there doesn't seem to be a plan or strategy in this recruitment process of the managers there. You know what I mean? It seems to be very much, let's just speak to loads of managers again. Let's get turned down about 10 million times. And then let's go for the last resort option, which, for me, the way I see it, Lee Grant was the last resort option. There's no other way of dressing this up. He wasn't top priority, and neither should he have been, either, because he's not really done. He hasn't done anything to as a coach, first team coach, to actually give him that position to be at the top of a list of a club, because he hasn't proven him. He hasn't been able to prove himself yet because he hasn't been given an opportunity. So that's the way I see it, and it does feel like it's just a hopeful appointment again. It's a hopeful appointment, and really, is that really going to turn the ship around at this football club by continuing the same approach that you've continuously done since you've walked through the door? No, I don't. He isn't going to do that. There's just no plan, no strategy. And I go back to it. Edwards was a problem Edwards was a problem since he's walked through the door. I don't care what anybody says. I know Cartwright took a lot of the blame, and rightly so. But Edwards is no better. He literally is no better. He's a fraud. He doesn't have a clue what he's doing. And he's just as clueless about football as Cartwright was. That's the way I see it. But he's kept him in a job. So, I don't know. Brutus says, crazy that the last three managers to win the title in League One have all done it in their first job as a manager. Yeah, I mean, that is a stat, isn't it, really? You know what I mean? It does give us a little bit of hope, not too much, of course, because, like I said, those clubs actually had a plan and a strategy, a recruitment team that could actually pick players out that would actually take the club forward. You know what I mean? The right profile of players, the right quality. We haven't got that here. As far as I'm concerned, we haven't got that here. We haven't got the recruitment people in that can actually make those decisions that we need to take this club forward, to improve the squad overall. We don't. And the proof's in the pudding of what we see. We haven't got that guy in yet. Whether the director of football will come in. We've done it the other way around, though, haven't we? We've appointed a manager, and then we're going to appoint a sporting director afterwards. I mean, you've got to. We've done it the other way around. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, as I said, Blue Terrier, those clubs had a plan in place, gave the manager the tools, the recruitment team at those clubs were good. We haven't got that here as it stands right now. So I don't really know how it's going to work here with this guy, to be honest with you. What if you guys have been a coach at Ipswich? Yeah, a lot of people are kind of worried about the situation at the moment. That's what I've been seeing on social media. By the way, 25 of you right now. Drop a like, subscribe if you're new. We do bring daily Huddersfield Town content to this channel, and I appreciate you all tuning in this evening. Get your thoughts in down below on Lee Grant becoming our new manager. I'd love to hear it from you. Ian says, another manager who says I'll play offensive football. Yeah, okay, mate, I'll believe when I see it. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? and the thing is, that's not his fault that he's coming to a situation where so many managers have said that previous to him that have been employed by this club. They've all said the same thing. I'm going to play attacking football. You know what I mean? I'm going to, look to really instill my ideas in the project that I believe in, and just this attacking front foot football that we've been told. It's never happened. So now this guy coming in now, he's kind of said similar things, but people won't believe it until they see it now because of what's happened before. So yeah, I understand that feeling, Ian. I really do. Sounds like the new sport director will be Ross Wilson. Should be announced soon. Yeah, I mean, I have seen that rumour about Ross Wilson coming in. I do think that he's a guy that does have pedigree within the game. And I do think he would be a good appointment, to be honest with you. I mean, experienced. And yeah, he's proven that he's good at his job as well. So yeah, no, I wouldn't mind that. It's just the fact that we still haven't got a sporting director in. It's just annoying that he's not come through the door before the manager. Not forgetting we had to get this manager decision right. Have we? Time will tell, but that's the thing, we don't have time. Yeah, I mean, look, how many times we said this though? We said this last season. We have to get when we say it time and time again, we have to get this appointment right. We have to get, and we just haven't. And that's why I just haven't got any confidence at the moment. There's always hope. If you don't hope, you're never gonna. As a fan, you've got to hope for the best. You've got to hope. You've got to have some hope, if that makes sense. But yeah, time will tell. But it is a massive gamble, as I've already alluded to. No, so you have to give him a chance. He's helped since League One to the Premier League. Yeah, no, that's what I said earlier. We do have to give him a chance. And I'm not going to come on here. And he's our manager now. And as a fan, we have to get behind him because he's our coach. I want him to do well, of course. We all do. Yeah? We all want him to do well at this football club. And I'll be behind him. Of course I will. But he has to prove... he has to prove himself. And he seems very ambitious and very passionate about his work. And the time will tell if he's given the tools this summer to succeed. Because if he isn't, and we recruit players that are just not going to improve the squad, and we just pick players out of a lottery hat again, it's not going to work. But it's not down to the manager that's down to the recruitment team. That's what I'm saying. So for me, he has to be. We know he's going to be backed with money, but it's if that money is going to be spent well, because we know how much money we've wasted since Nagel's come through the door. Let's be honest. Luton's Grant for me needs to be given more time than any of Nagel's previous appointments. Constant change of manager, and we will never be stable. Yeah, no, I get that, Blue Terry, and I do understand what you're saying, but there isn't really time, is there? Because we really need to hit the ground running next season from the get-go. That's the way I see it, because we've had so much negativity, so much slow starts in seasons. We have to start the season quickly, and as I said to you before, Blue Terrier, Nagel isn't one for giving managers time. He's proven that. He has proven that since he's come through the door. Apart from, I think Duff, he maybe gave too. He didn't really give Duff that much time. If you think about it, and look, he isn't one for giving managers time. So that's the problem. We're becoming a hiring and sacking football club. That's what we've become in terms of managers. It's crazy. But we won't be. I understand what you're saying. We won't be stable without that kind of. I'm saying we need patience. What I'm going to say is right now, right? We need to stick by this guy now. I don't want to see us sack this manager, and maybe that's me being bold. That's being bold now. Because what if it goes disastrously wrong? We start the season terribly wrong, and we get to what is it, October, December time when we're in dire straits. Would I be confident that the manager could turn it around at that point? No, I wouldn't. So maybe I'm being a bit thinking about this, but I do want the manager to be given time because, like you said, we need stability. But the time for stability, though, was when Neil Warnock was in the door. And I'm sorry to go back to these guys, but that's the time for when we need stability, and we didn't. So yeah. Noah says, how are you doing, Ryan? By the way, I could see it going either way. It's definitely a bold move, especially with no managerial experience previously. Yeah, obviously I'm doing all right, thank you. Doing my best, as you do. You're well, and yeah, look, it can go either way, and this is the thing. This is why it's such an intriguing appointment, but kind of scary appointment in another angle as well. And it is I agree, it is a bold move for sure. It says this appointment just goes to show how bad we are because just look at who was available. If we're getting turned down by experienced managers, then that is worrying. Yeah, no, look, I do know what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying as well, by the way, because I wanted a time when Ruben Sellers was linked, as people will know on this channel, I wanted him. He became my number one quite quickly when I realised that obviously, once Hull sacked him, I thought, let's go out for him now, let's go and get him, because I do think he's a good coach. We didn't do that, and we've got this guy in, obviously, but the thing is, it's because of how things have unfolded under this ownership. That's what it goes down to, Aiden. This is what it goes down to. The fact is, managers have seen the chaos and carnage from the outside that the club has been, that we've been going through the past few years since this ownership come in, and they don't want to work under this kind of. They don't want to work under this kind of day-to-day operations of things, of how things have gone with the club. They can see the mess from the outside, and they've just declined us. I do believe a lot of managers have declined us, which suggests why it took so long to appoint a manager in the first place. So yeah, it is worrying, but it's not surprising that they've turned us down, because why would you come here? The reality is we're in a position now where, in reality, looking back at it, we are in a position where we had to take a punt on the manager now, because no other manager would say yes to us at this point in time. That's the problem. So they've been kind of forced into making a decision where they had to go for somebody that isn't proven, because that's the only kind of manager, that's the only kind of person that will accept the job at the moment. That's the way I see it. So yeah, madness. Keith says his first interview was very good. I think he will do very well. He seems he will do what he says at the time. Yeah, you know what, Keith? I do understand what you're saying, and we're going to get into a few quotes that he said in a moment. And big up to everyone that's putting your comments in as well. Appreciate it. I do understand what you're saying. He does seem believable, but how many times have we sat here? And I've sat here and I got overexcited and believed in what the coaches have been, the managers that we've had in the past have said, and it's just gone completely wrong. So for me, I'm waiting for his reserve. I'm waiting to make my decision about this guy. I want to see what he does, what we see on the pitch as well, because talk is cheap. We have to see it. But he does seem a believable character. He does seem like he means what he says. It's just whether he can actually, kind of translate that onto the pitch ultimately. You know what I mean? And get and you know what I mean in that way, because he's not ever been in a position like this before as a first team coach. I don't care if he's been a coach at Ipswich amongst like Kieran McKenna, who is a brilliant manager and is, obviously I'm sure he's learned a lot under him. I'm not saying he hasn't, because he will have done, but being part of backroom staff and coming to a club and being the main guy, that all the eyes are on him, and he's the first team coach. All the responsibility that comes with that, he hasn't been in this position before, and that is why people are feeling a bit uneasy about it. That's the way I see it. But yeah, let's see what he does. Like you said, Mike, this is a very risky appointment. Reminds me of the Jan Sievert appointment. Experienced coach, but lack of management skills. If this goes wrong, Grant might be gone by Christmas. Yeah, no, we're all saying the same thing, aren't we, about it being a risky appointment? It's going to be a big gamble. It's a big gamble and all that, and I understand. Um, Look, we don't want another Jan Sievert. Absolutely not. We can't have another 2.0 of Jan Sievert, can we? Or the likes of Darren Moore. Please, no. We can't. But, yeah, I agree. If it does, I go back to it. It will either go two ways. It will either go really well or it will go absolutely terrible. There'll be no in between, in my opinion. It'll go either one of the spectrum. If it's the other end of the spectrum, then he's going to be gone by Christmas. Like I said, I do think he will, because that does give time. That does give a lot of time for the coach to kind of. He will have his. He will be able to kind of. By Christmas, we'll know what a league grant side is. Is it going to be one where we can actually believe in what he's doing, what he's trying to do on the pitch, what he's trying to get the player to do, and the system that he plays? Or is it going to be the other way? We don't know, do we? It says, wouldn't surprise me if Michael Duff is laughing at us right now. Yeah, look, you can laugh, Michael Duff, and I stick by what I say about Michael Duff. Yes, he was experienced when he came in, but I wasn't ever convinced with his football, and I don't think I would have been convinced keeping him in a job, keeping him in charge of this football club, because I didn't see where we were going with him. We weren't going anywhere. We were just static. You know what I mean? And that's the way I see it. We weren't going to get promoted out of this league with him in charge. For me, he just looked clueless. He didn't know what to do. He looked out of his depth, and yeah, just didn't bring a brand of football that we could all get behind. We were seeing nothing on the pitch. So look, you can laugh. That's fine. But for me, I don't think he was ever the right man to come in the first place. But that goes back to the people above making the wrong decisions again. So, yeah. Wonder if Johnny Hogg will be one of his assistants. Yeah, that is a good point, Wayne, to be fair. I know Hoggy was kind of said he was going to go away, have a holiday, think about his options and things. And yeah, look, potentially, but he did say in his interview today that, Grant, that he did have his own coaching team coming in. So if it's his own, I'm not so sure Hoggy would be on that list as part of his own coaching team, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but I don't see it. He felt like he'd already been set in stone of what staff he's going to bring in with him, people that he knows, and yeah, that's the way. I could be wrong, but yeah. It says, don't forget we waited 3 months for this appointment. Yeah, we did, but this is why. This is what I said, right? We didn't have a plan going into this summer about who we wanted as the manager. That they were just talking to. By the sound of it, they were talking to everyone. They were talking to so many managers. By the sounds of it, because they couldn't decide. They were just getting turned down one after the other, and that's why it's. But yeah, look, 3 months without a permanent manager. I'm sorry, and I think that's why it doesn't help this new guy's cause, because he's at the brunt of this now. Because we've waited 3 months without a permanent manager. And then, in all due respects, to then wait 3 months and then to get somebody like Lee Grant, who, in all due respects, he has no pedigree within first team coaching, is demoralising. That's the problem. But I think only he can change that, and he seems a very driven individual, and he wants to prove. I get the sense that he wants to prove people wrong. People that are doubting him about this job, and I think that could be good for him and good for us, because it may bring out the best of him. But I don't know. I'm not going to reserve a point. I'm not going to reserve my full opinion on this manager because he's never been in the position before. I don't know much about him. That's it. So I can't really. But yeah, it's a disgrace, isn't it? That's nothing. If Lee Grant is our manager, I'm dreading what our coaching staff will be. Oh, come on, Aiden, let's just give him a chance. I know it's demoralising. I know it's a very underwhelming appointment, but yeah, he's not the manager that we all wanted. It wasn't the manager that was on our list. Well, it was a surprise, only until the other day, wasn't it, where we saw this name link come up and thought, who's this? Who? And then, yeah, obviously, yeah, it was a surprise kind of option that came up. So nobody expected it. But yeah, let's just see. Needs backing players like Ledson from Preston or Goodman from Palace. Yeah, look, big up to you, Ben, by the way. I put this on my, I don't know if you've seen my video, Ben, but I actually put this as one of my targets I want to see. You know, Goodman from Palace. Well, obviously did well at Wimbledon. Now, I know they've been promoted now, so they'll be joining in League One next season, but I think he's a brilliant goalkeeper. And I put him as one of my targets I'd love to see come in. But yeah. And Ledson, yeah, well, obviously Ledson is linked with us. Remains to be seen whether he could just come in. I'm sorry for sounding negative, mate. I want him to do well, and of course I'll back him. The worrying thing is I only heard of him yesterday. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand your frustrations. I think we're all feeling a bit like worried about this, you know, apprehensive, you know what I mean? And I understand what you're saying. You know, we all feel it. But I'm just trying to think like, let's just give him a chance and see what he can do rather than just writing him off from the get-go. As hard as that may be at the moment, because it is an underwhelming appointment, we just have to, because that's it. But yeah, it's crazy. And big up to everyone that is bringing in these comments in right now. You've got everybody's coming in with the comments. I appreciate it. Blue Jay says, do you think managers not being given time could be a key reason why we might have been turned down by other managers we offered the job to? I mean, it could have, yeah. I mean, look, if you see a club that are just hiring and sacking managers left, right, and centre, then I think it would put managers off, to be honest with you. But I just think the conversations that they had with each other, you know, the managers that we've spoken to, whoever they may be, we don't really know who we've spoken to, do we? It's all rumours. But whoever's been spoken to, they clearly didn't feel like they could work under this kind of project, if you want to call it. I hate that word, project, but you know what I mean, like this, under this current kind of format that we're working in. I don't know. There'll be multiple factors, but I think that would have played a key reason, in my opinion, as well. Paul says, Nagel doesn't have a clue. Talk is cheap. We've heard all the waffle from other recent managers sacked by Christmas, and another shocking season ahead, I'd say. Yeah, Paul, I know you are very much a bit like me in a sense, where you just don't really see much of the positive, and I get that. And look, there's nothing to be positive about the club at the moment. There isn't, and I'm not going to sit here and say there is. But look, I understand why you feel like that, and a lot of people have kind of just said, look, I've seen a lot of people on social media say, look, it's a write-off now. You know, we've got this guy in, and I just don't see it working. People have a right to have an opinion. It doesn't look good, because this club is in a mess, and we did need somebody to steady the ship, you know what I mean, and stabilise and actually go for it next season. But we haven't. We've gone for somebody that is unproven, and yeah, that's the worry. Let's just say we don't be sitting here in November time saying great out and low. I mean, I just can't have another season, guys, of hiring and sacking money. I just can't do it. I just cannot do it anymore. Look, if the results don't go, it's a results-based business. If we don't get results, then it will turn sour. It will turn bad, and then there's only one outcome. But I just can't have we just can't have. But the thing is, the club hierarchy have made this decision again, a bold decision. Another bold decision that they've made since they've come through the door. Many of those bold decisions haven't worked out. Will this one work out? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But like I said, the reason we've been let's not forget why we have been sacking manager left, right, and centre, guys. Because they haven't got the appointment right in the first place. That's why we sat here constantly thinking, you know, when we're going to sack the next manager now, you know what I mean, and all this. That is what this club has become, because of the ownership that we've got, because of the bad decision making and everything. It's just a mess. Blue says biggest chance for Lee in pre-season will be getting hopefully a completely new squad to get used to each other in the space of around 6 weeks. Yeah, no, it is a huge job, and he has to be given the tools. He has to be supported, like we've already said. But I'm at a stage now where I'm just going to see what happens rather than hoping that things will happen, because I'm not going to get my hopes up anymore with this club, because we're at that stage. I just don't see any positivity. It's all the unknown. It's all up in the air. That's where we are as a club right now. But yeah, it's a quick turnaround. Keith says, I really think he will smash it. And I'm not one of these fans who thinks every player or manager is going to smash for us. I have a very good feeling about him. Let's all get behind him. Yeah, though, look, if you've got that feeling, Keith, then fair play to you. And look, I will give him a chance. Of course I will. We all want him to succeed. I know Paul said earlier about, we've heard all this waffle with managers before when they first come in. But I do like that first impression I got of him. Whereas in the other managers that we've had in the past, I haven't really necessarily felt like that. I've not really felt like, I like how he's presenting himself, how he is, how he comes across, his personality, charisma, and all that. I like I like the first impressions. That's what I will say. But that's all I'm going to say right now, because I'm not going to say he's going to do this. He's going to be amazing for us, because we don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But yeah, look, hopefully you're right, Keith, and we do very well. Goodwin is a great keeper. Danny Ward is a keeper I'd sign, though. Yeah, look, I think going with ex-players again, it just doesn't work, though, Blue Terry, in my opinion. Look, that's just my view. Look, players that have come back haven't really done much for us. I just don't really think. And look, Danny Ward will always have a place in our history, of course, but I don't know. I just think going back for players that we've had in the past, does it really work to the extent that we'd like it to? I don't know. I'm just really intrigued, though, for me, to see how he actually sets up his team, Lee Grant, and what formation we'll play and the system and everything. I'm intrigued. What will he do? You know what I mean? And yeah, what formation we'll play next season? That's what I'm keen to know and everything. We've got to be optimistic. We don't want this will go playoffs only. I think you're trying to say we'll either get in the playoffs or it'll be League Two next season, basically. Yeah. He's had a big experience with getting Ipswich out of League One. Not saying he's going to take us to the Prem, because that one, but he could do okay. Look, yeah, I get that. Yeah, he was part of the coaching team at Ipswich. I get that. I understand that. But as I said earlier, Noah, I do think that being part of a coaching team is all well and good, and succeeding is, I'm not going to not, obviously the coaching team are a big part of a club, with the manager to succeed as a club. But it's a different ball game when you become the first team coach, because, like I said, the responsibilities, all eyes are on you. You are the pure decision making. You lead by example. You are the leader ultimately, as I said, and you're in that position where, you're in a completely different role. You've never been in that role before. How is he going to cope with that? I don't know. Time will tell. Grant must be a good coach, because he did a lot of the coaching. He did a lot of the coaching for the Strikes and got 20 goals from Ladapo. Oh, Blue Terry, please don't. Ladapo should be out of the door, mate, first and foremost. 20 goals from Ladapo, that was a few years ago. Ladapo now is not the same Ladapo then. So, no, I'm not buying that. I think this comment is a bit... I'm not sure I can kind of believe what you're saying there, to be honest with you. One good thing about this new manager, you might know Freya Ladapo, might make him go, oh my gosh, what am I seeing, guys? No! Freya Ladapo is finished as a footballer. Trust me, he's finished. He's not going to do what he did a few years ago. He looks like he's ready for retirement, Ladapo already. And he's at the back end of his career, and he's just not the same player as what he once was. Also, left winger Mitch Austin has been sent seeing that Johnson's just done trials. I don't know who you're talking about, mate, but fair enough. But look, I do want to kind of get into a few quotes. And big up to everyone that's tuned. 32 of you in here right now. Drop a like, subscribe if you are new. There should be at least a couple of you in here that aren't subscribed. I'm pretty sure about that. So do, please, we've gained 1 subscriber in this show. And let's have a look at the likes. Guys, come on. 32 of you in here right now. And only 11 likes. This can't be right. This isn't. Don't be tight, guys. You've got to drop a like. It's free. And yes, we've only got 11 likes. Drop a like down below if you haven't already. 35 of you in here. We should at least have 30 likes. So come on and subscribe as well. But look, let's get into what the new boss said. His first words was, first and foremost, it's an incredible honour to be manager of Huddersfield Town. That's what he said. This is an exciting time to be joining the club, and there is so much potential and opportunity for us going forward, and I couldn't be more motivated to play my part in that journey. So I thought he started off quite nicely, didn't he? Obviously, he seems very... Yeah, he seems... Well, he's excited to be here. He's grateful for the opportunity. And yeah, he seemed like he felt... Yeah, he just felt grateful that he's been given the chance by us, ultimately. He thanked the club hierarchy, Nagel and Dakins, for giving me their trust. And I hope to repay that with time as we head into the summer and season ahead. He also talked about the clear idea of what he wants. And he said, you have a clear idea of what I want my town team to look like and how I want us to play. My priority is to not only win, but give our amazing supporters a side that they're proud to represent. They're proud to represent them and excited to watch. Talked about his goals and ambitions being very clear, and there is much hard work that needs to take place in order to put us in a position to succeed. Well, he's not wrong there, is he? That process begins today. Obviously, he did also go into his kind of back end, obviously, before he retired. Obviously, at Man United a few years, obviously, he was doing bits of coaching then as well. And then, obviously, his journey with Ipswich with Kieran McKenna, who, again, Kieran McKenna is another person, guys. I'm not saying this guy is like anywhere close to Kieran McKenna. What I'm saying is, when Kieran McKenna came to Ipswich, he had never managed first team. He'd never been a first team coach before at senior level. So Ipswich took a huge punt on him, and look what he's done. I know these stories don't come around often, but I just think, yeah, he's another one that nobody probably would. If you would have asked Ipswich fans at that time when he appointed him, there may have been a few doubts about that appointment. But look what he's done for them. So yes, but yeah, we talked about his time with Ipswich. Obviously, you know, achieving those back-to-back promotions from League One to the Premier League. Now he was also asked about what he wants to be as a manager, how he wants to operate, and what does he see his team ideals be. How does he want to have his teams perform and represent him, the club, and the supporters? So he said, firstly, I am who I am. I'm an enthusiastic guy. I want to work and set a really high tempo and a high standard of work. And I want to transmit that down to the players and the staff. The team, he has no doubts how he wants to have the team look and feel. We will be a proactive team, a dominant team, and we'll be an aggressive team. He then went into it. He then went into those kind of traits that he likes in a bit more detail. He said we'll be proactive. We'll look for work. That means we're going to be a side that go after work. We aren't going to sit back, whether that be with or without the football. We're going to really get after the opposition. So I'm excited to really demand a lot from the boys. The way we train and the way we work will take the football, give them plenty of ideas and pictures to help them do that. But in terms of the challenge in front of the players on a daily basis and the demand we'll put on them, it will demand a level of bravery, and take it to the opposition. And then he also obviously finalised about him saying about he wants an aggressive team. He said here that when he talks about aggression, that's not just in the most brutal form. I'm talking about attacking the game from a physical and mental perspective. So again, I want players and staff as well that come into work every day with big enthusiasm, ready to work, hungry to learn and develop, which is part of his makeup. I'm here to help players be better, and I'm here to help players develop and grow. So yeah, just on this, look, words are all cheap, and I get that. And I'm going to sit here and say, you know what, fair play, you do seem to know what you're talking about. You seem to have a clear plan, but how many times have we said that before? So I'm not going to get overexcited. I'm going to see what happens. But as I said, I'm going to kind of go into what I made of it all in a moment. But in terms of my first impression of it in a moment, we're going to just get through all the a few of the more quotes. He was asked about obviously fans' doubts about him about him because of his lack of experience. And he was kind of answered that as well. Obviously, he said, he did talk about managers that hadn't had jobs before at this, in the first team coach capacity, and have actually been successful. He mentioned Kieran McKenna, Messinho, Schumacher, all these coaches that have gone places. You do have to have a given opportunity to work, and that's how I see it. Everybody has to start somewhere, is what I'm trying to say. So we've got to just give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to go through every quote that was said, guys, because it was a long interview, to be honest with you. But I kind of just picked out a few of the quotes there that, I kind of thought, we'll mention those tonight. But let's get through the comments. I've missed a few. No, so you said everything right. Just see if you can produce. Yeah, it's just all about seeing what you produce and what we see on the pitch now, isn't it? Drop a like. Yeah, please do drop a like. We've got 15 likes. There's 28 of you in here right now. Come on, guys. Drop that like. It's free. And yes, it would be greatly appreciated as well. We're just not saying anything now. So yes. But where was I? Yes. So look, I did like my first. I did have good first impressions of Lee. But my first impression of him is that he does seem a very passionate guy. Seems very enthusiastic about his work. He's a hard-working individual, and he expects everybody around him to be hard-working, which is what you want. He demands, obviously he demands that from everybody around him as well. So that's what I kind of already said. He's very clear what he wants as well. You can tell that when you aren't in the front line, if you could say so, in terms of being a first team coach, you are able to learn from the coaches around you, and he's been learning from Kieran McKenna over the last few years. And look, that will only help him because he will have picked up a lot of ideas and a lot of things from Kieran because he is a good coach. He's proven that, McKenna. Another thing that I want to say is that he's very clear what he wants, and you can tell he believes in what he's saying as well. He's not just saying waffle. You can tell he believes it. He believes in himself. He believes what he's saying, and it came across that way to me. You know, you can tell he's a very good leader. That's what I also came across to me that way. Felt like he was very, you know what I mean? He speaks with that authority, you know what I mean? That real kind of, he's got a presence about him, you know what I mean? And he believes everything that he says. And look, I've already said it before. I know he isn't a name that does excite us, but it does seem a very underwhelming appointment. But we do have to give him a chance. I reiterate that point. I do believe everyone deserves a chance in any walk of life to prove themselves. But you do have to be given the opportunity by someone. That is the reality of it all. And obviously, he has got this opportunity. It's a massive opportunity for him. I'm sure he's going to do everything to succeed here. And I've also kind of alluded to this as well. You know, the fact is that what I don't think has helped his cause is the way the club hierarchy have gone about it in terms of how long it's took to appoint a manager and all these rumours about other managers which were more attractive, you know, prepositions for us in terms of the managers that we talk about, you know, Ruben Sellers, David Wagner, obviously people like that who we really wanted to have. And I think now we've got somebody like, you know, we've not had a permanent manager for 3 months, and we've ended up with Lee Grant, who nobody really knows much about him, and he's just an unknown kind of manager that's never had a job at this. He's never had a first team coaching role. As a first team coach, you know what I'm trying to say. And it is a huge gamble. It's a risk. But these risks and gambles can pay off, but they can also not pay off as well. So, yeah, it will either go really well or it'll go horribly wrong. There's no in between. Let's have a look. Hello to Eugene. Big up to you, and welcome in. Hope you're well. And yes, hope you're doing well, mate. Good to see you. Aces, come on, people, slacking, get them likes. Are we still slacking with the likes, Aiden? I mean, come on, get them to 19 likes. Come on, guys, we need to push. There's 27. There's 27 in me right now, and I'm not begging, but I'm shamelessly going to keep saying it. Drop a like, it is free, and subscribe. Pretty sure there's been many people in here tonight that haven't subscribed yet. I haven't liked. So yes, do help me out. Exercise Wisdom. Hello there. New name to the channel. Good evening. No one had heard of the name Kieran McKenna. Back-to-back promotion in his first management. Yeah, no, I agree. Look, and that's why I'm being very I'm not saying, look, this guy is going to be rubbish and all this. I'm not going to do that because I want to see what he can do. That's where I'm at the moment. Kieran McKenna is a prime example of doesn't matter. Look, we've gone through the experience route before. We've gone through the unknown kind of managers. Neither of them have worked. So if you look at it like that, then experience doesn't mean we're going to be successful. It doesn't guarantee you success. But it does kind of help a little bit more than somebody that hasn't ever been in a first team coach role before, for sure. But I don't know. But yeah, like you said, Kieran McKenna is a prime example. Maybe something that we can kind of look at and think, yeah, maybe we can believe a little bit that we do have a little bit of hope there. But Kieran McKenna was a big gamble for Ipswich and it paid off. That one did pay off. But there's many that haven't. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, mate. Sorry to change the subject, mate. My thoughts will go out to the ones who got injured in Liverpool Monday. Such a devastating way to end the day. My thoughts go out to Liverpool. Yeah, obviously it was a lot. Yeah, I mean, I echo these thoughts as well, to be honest with you. Really, really sad to see what happened the other day. And yeah, like I said, I echo these thoughts. Thoughts go out to everybody affected by that horrible incident on Monday. And also, yes, I also forgot, obviously Jerry Murphy, of course, who was one of our legends at Huddersfield Town, sadly passed away, didn't he, last week? I saw as well. I haven't actually mentioned it yet. So that was really sad. So rest in peace to Jerry. I'm sure maybe a few of the older ones can remember. I can't remember him as a player. And you know what I mean? I can't really remember him, really, to be honest with you. I'm too young to remember him, really. But obviously, I do know, obviously, he's a prominent figure. So I did know who he was, but I didn't never really seen him at work, if you could say so. But yes, thoughts go out to people in Liverpool and obviously, and obviously Jerry Murphy, who sadly lost his life last week. Get a decent coaching director and we could get somewhere. Yeah, look, we wait for the director of football. Did we get promoted? No, usually we did not. Don't remind us, last season's gone. We don't want to talk about last season. We failed miserably, and that was down to the people above just running the circus, as we call it right now. Just a complete circus. It's a football club at the moment, but we're not going to cover all ground. I've kind of drawn a line under last season now, Eugene. To be honest with you, I'm not going to. I think it's just going to we just have to put that season to bed again. I don't really want to think about it. So yeah, we just move forward now, see what happens next. Because it's a very, very difficult, shocking season once again. Okay, so I got my season for Rotherham, and I will see you next season at John Smith Stadium. Fair enough, Kayleigh. Fair enough. Yes, obviously a Rotherham fan tunes in to watch Huddersfield channel. I mean, look, every fan's welcome here, of course, but I do find it like, you always seem to be here, don't you, Kayleigh? Supporting the channel, which I appreciate, of course. Come on, guys, 21 likes. A big up to everyone that's dropped a like, but we still need a few more. But look, I think we're going to kind of wrap it up there, to be honest with you guys. I think I've kind of said what I need to say tonight. All I want to say is I just hope that this does work out. It needs to work. And I've kind of covered everything really. Look, I'm excited to see what we can do. I'm intrigued to see what happens, but I'm not going to sit here and just be overexcited, because it is not an appointment that excites, but it's an appointment that we have to get behind, and we have to see what this guy's about. That's the way I see it. Hello to Man About Town, an Ipswich Town fan. Hello there. Here with links inside the club. Lee Grant is a very decent coach. He works a lot with the strikers and he's a very thorough coach. Best of luck to the Terriers. Big up to you, by the way. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit more insight, because like I said, we don't really know much about Lee. And of course, we're all hoping and praying he does well here. And yes, I appreciate the best wishes appreciate the insight as well. A very thorough coach. I like the sound of that. And he worked a lot with the strikers at your club as well. So look, we need both. We need a thorough coach. We need people that can actually, work with these strikers, because our strikers have been terrible for too long now. And of course, hopefully he gets some more players. Well, he needs some more players in as well. But yeah, big up to you. Thank you for the insight there. And hopefully, and thank you for your best wishes as well. And good luck to Ipswich next season for sure. Sorry to hear that go again next season. Yeah, no, of course that's all you can do, mate. But I'm just not going back to last season now. I've drawn a line under it now and just move forward. But yes, Lee Grant has become our new manager. Time will tell how this one will go, but let's get behind him. Let's see what he can produce. And you know what? If his interview is anything to go by, I'm telling you, we've got a lot to be excited for. But I'm not going to rest on my laurels with that interview. I'm going to see what he does on that pitch, and we're going to see with our own eyes what he produces. And we'll see how it goes. But yes, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Thank you all for your contributions this evening. Thanks for all the likes and whoever subscribed as well this evening. I appreciate that as well. You know, we keep growing, we keep going towards that 1K subscribers. Hopefully we can do that very, very soon, but I will keep bringing you consistent content on the channel. I'm going to do a video tomorrow. I've got a good one actually on the manager yeah, I've got one of why I think I'm going to be on the positive side. I'm going to kind of actually I had an idea, but I've forgotten about it. But I'm going to bring a video out tomorrow, and then maybe some on Friday, if not one or the other. So definitely a video tomorrow, and just stay tuned for that. And if we get a sporting directory anytime soon at the end by Friday, I'll also kind of come on and obviously share my thoughts on that as well. But we'll see. Ace is up the town. League rounds Barney. Indeed, yes. The LGBA. Yes, that is the abbreviation now for us going forward. So yes, indeed. So yeah, plenty more to come on the channel. So yes, have a good evening, whatever you get up to. Thanks for tuning in. And if you are watching it on playback, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, what you make of this appointment as well. But yes, until next time, take care, stay safe. And thank you everybody for watching, and thanks for all your support. And as Aidan says, up the town, Lee Grant's Barmy Army. Come on.